All right. Hello, Gun Nation. How's everyone doing? Cheers, everyone. We've got a little bit of tin cup whiskey this evening. First time trying it. It's actually not bad. Not bad if I do say so myself. I've said hello to a bunch of people, but we've got Scott, James Johnson, reloading from the hot pot, Pistol Pete, Mike High. Let's see. For some reason on my end, it's delaying a little bit. Pistol Pete says, I'm glad to see the rulings by the SCOTUS are driving the anti 2A bastards crazy. I agree too. I hope it keeps on coming. And I know if they pass other crap that's supposedly coming down the line, um, they went after the EPA pretty hard. SCOTUS did. So I'm hoping they go after the ATF also and get that shit squared away. So, but it's just going to be due diligence. I know that it's not going to happen in a day. Hello, K4, KO4S4. But yeah, I had a good time today. I went to the range or met Threat Cadre up at the range and we did some shooting. So I filmed some stuff. Hope y'all like it. It'll be coming out soon. But we had a good time. So let's see here what this is saying. Okay. All right. Looks like we got 16 on here. If y'all have any questions or anything, please let me throw them up there and we will get to them. Oh, and I wanted to ask this question. Hello, Lynn Holt. Hello, AA. How are you? Yeah, but that's what I'm saying, AA. We were just talking about that. Hopefully, this SCOTUS deal will just overturn all this bullshit they're trying to drop on y'all. So, hopefully. Hello, Bagger Bro. How are you? Man, why is this thing delaying? Golly. But yeah, we had a good time. I blew through a bunch more ammo. We got Two Gun Kitty, the catnip outlaw. Hey, man, what's up, man? From Frisco, Texas. That's not too far away. Micro stamping. Give me a break, man. Why don't they micro? I'm surprised they haven't micro stamped to straws. So if you throw them away, you're tied to them. Hello, Tactical Firearms. Milkman. Hello. Hello, Ranger 10. Sorry I missed you. Micro stamping. Good Lord. And I wanted to ask this to all of y'all. When you go to the range, how much gear do you carry? Do you carry like one pistol, two pistols, three pistols, pistols and ARs? What do you carry? Do you have a whole truckload full of shit? Or, do you look like you're wagging around a kitchen sink? Or is it just a very minimalistic type thing to the range? I'm just curious. Hello, Captain Phil. How are you? Yep, too much gear. It's kind of annoying sometimes. I agree. I agree. Hello, A Dubs. How are you? And I did something different this time when I went to the range. I actually went minimalistic and I used a totally different bag and a different way to carry. And I'll kind of go over it in the video because I want to share with y'all how it worked and all of that other stuff. Um, but what was funny, I'll tell you all this. I won't tell everybody this yet, but basically, to make a long story short, with the pistols, the optics, the flashlights, the ammo, the mags, everything that I had in this bag, I just got my telephone and just got on the calculator and did a quick addition thing just to add everything up super fast. I had over $9,000 worth of gear in a $25 bag. It just, I looked at it and I was just like, you got to be kidding me. So it actually made, I mean, I literally laughed when I just added it all up, and I'm like, seriously? Let's see here. Two Gun Kitty says, Big John walked past you as you were leaving Texas Gun Experience today. Was going to say hi, but you were talking with someone. I was with Threat Cadre, but hell, just come up and say hi. I'd love to meet you. You know, you can interrupt. I was just there with a friend, so, but I appreciate it. Yeah, that would be nice. Fortunate that his range is in his backyard. That's really nice. Definitely nice. Range bag and 1 to 2 guns. If I take 2 guns, they are chambered in the same caliber. Yeah, that's very smart. I have a roller bag that houses all of my pistols and rifle ammo, gear essentials, etc. Yeah, and I've even went up, this was a while ago, but when I did that live where I brought guns, rifles, shotguns, all that crap up to Texas Gun Experience, I actually brought my 3-gun cart, that big old thing, and I had stuff on there. I had my battle belt on there. People were looking at me like I was literally crazy. So I know it's crazy how much stuff you can load up. Pistol Pete wears his tactical Speedos. There you go. You probably have a place to hide the gun right in the center, right? I usually take a few pistols and 1 AR, try to get a lot of time with different setups while I'm there. I hear you. Hello, Dennis Buckner. Yes, I hope we all had a great 4th of July. I've got a little thing to tell y'all. It was pretty funny. I got my big shooting bag in a truck, and I just bring small bags with ammo and some essentials with me. I do some at matches as well. Depends on the trip. Typically 3 to 4 pistols, backpack with box of magazines and a few extra boxes and targets. They also use my carry gun. Always end with carry. Yeah, that's not a bad idea. I shot, believe it or not, with that Staccato C2, since if y'all haven't watched the video, please go watch it, but it had to be replaced. My C2 did, the whole entire gun. So I've been putting a lot of rounds through that. I'm not going to give it away yet, but I've been packing some rounds through that thing. Takes longer to load and unload the truck than to shoot 500 to 600 rounds. It will be easier to mount a gun safe in the back of the pickup. Dirt track, some of us do have a gun safe in the back of the pickup. Big J, what do you care and far as an EDC knife? I just picked up the Civi and already cut the shit out of myself. It's sharp for sure. I've actually seen those CVs. I carry, I've got the Rook, Ruike. I carry that knife a lot. I really like it. I just got another knife. This is kind of like a Microtech SOCOM. It's very similar. It's called a Scorpion Off-Grid Knives, the Elite Series. It comes in this box. And it comes with a coin and a knife. This was one of their special editions. I'll take it out and show it to you. This is actually a really, really nice knife. It wasn't cheap, but it's really a nice knife. I was going to buy a Microtech SOCOM, but hell, nobody has them. And I don't really care for the front. I don't know how well you can see it, but it's got that. It's a flipper. I love flippers. And it's got a ball bearing in it. It's got a liner lock, all that stuff. I really do like this, and what's neat about it is you can just bounce it down because the ball bearing, and it's perfectly level. It's perfectly straight. So this is a pretty nice knife. Still getting used to this one. This flipper is different than my other flippers. And I really prefer a Tanto blade, but saw this one and I was like, man, this is pretty cool. It's got some heft to it. But honestly, I mean, I don't really have to carry the most expensive knives and all that other stuff. Um, I've got a bunch of expensive knives, but honestly, I don't carry them that much. And I've got a shitload of Benchmades, um, but they pissed me off when they kind of got into that deal where they were cutting up guns and shit a while back. But I'm not going to get rid of the knives. They're great knives. Let's see here. Hello, MZ. How are you? But I do always carry a knife with me. Always have a knife in the pocket. And really, during the day, I just cut shit with it. I mean, it's surprising, and I carry a light in my pocket too. But I use the knife a hell of a lot more than I use the little flashlight. The Highland Park shooting got me mad as hell. Dude's dad co-signed for him to get the gun, and police knew about him before hand and did do nothing. Both failed. Dads, yeah, and police, yeah. Hello, Miss Hotshot. How are you? Hello, CZ Shadow 2. Y'all all smash that thumbs up button. I'd appreciate it. Yeah. Big Johnson Guns and Gear. What are your thoughts on the Taren Tactical Sandviper? Was checking it out at TGE. Yeah, they got those 5 in. I've played with 2 of them just to look at them. I mean, I think it's a very nice pistol. For $8,500, honestly, it doesn't do anything to me. It doesn't do anything that a staccato with the comp won't do. You can get an Atlas for, 5,900 bucks. I think it's got a really cool paint job, but you could also Cerakote yours if you wanted it to look like that. It's just personal opinion. I mean, it's super smooth. I played with it. The trigger's nice, all of that. I'm not saying it's a bad gun. Don't get me wrong. It's a limited edition. I think they're only doing like 300 of them. That probably justifies, or to a lot of people, justifies the price. Um, I personally wouldn't buy one. I mean, it doesn't even come with the SRO. You have to buy that additionally. So you're looking at another, 450, 500 bucks for that. But it is what it is. So it's just my opinion. How much of a pain in the ass is it to fly with a gun? I'm going to Texas in 2 weeks. I'm wondering if it's just, or if it's worth for just a few days. I mean, I fly with a gun all over the place. Now, not to commie states, but you're coming here, it's not a big deal. You're probably going to have more problems at your New York airport than you would, or you're not going to have any issues in Texas. So, you know, I would just check to see if they recognize New York. I don't know if they do. They probably do, but I would double check that. But I mean, I've flown all over the place. Not to, like I said, not to California. I didn't carry one to California. I didn't carry one to Portland because they don't recognize my CHL. I figured I'd probably have a problem at the airport, but I mean, I've never had a problem at normal states. So I really don't know, man. You won't have any problem here as long as it's recognized. What's up, LW Road? If y'all haven't checked out LW Road, please do. He's got a good channel. He's into those 10 millimeters. Hello, Parts by Teddy. How are you? Yeah, that is kind of weird that we hear this known to police. I mean, we hear that quite a bit. Love carrying my purple Kershaw that reloading from the hot pot got me. Great for work, perfect for my jeans and small pockets. Yeah, Kershaw makes good knives. I have a couple of Kershaws. I have a couple that are stone washed. I like them. Uh, Double B recently picked up a G3 tactical, nice shooter, love it. 500 rounds, 0 issues. Good to hear, man. All these databases are worthless if the police never do their part. I mean, think about this. The databases in Chicago, they know who all the gangbangers are. They know who all the thugs are. They've got criminal records as long as they're armed. They're focusing on the Parkland, but I don't know if y'all know this, but in Chicago, there were 63 shootings over the 4th of July. I think there were like 12 or 13 people killed that actually lost their life. You don't hear about that. You don't hear about that. But there you go. Picked up 75B, took advantage of your lock discount code for a new pair of grips. Thanks. Hey, thank you, James Johnson. I appreciate it, man. Yeah, that 20% off for the 4th of July, that one-day sale was a smoking deal. They only have that like once or twice a year. Parts by Teddy says Spyderco PM 2 all day long. I had a Spyderco PM. I don't know if it was the 2, but I lost the damn thing. Didn't that stand for police and military or something like that? I thought. Maybe I'm wrong, but I thought that's what it stood for. Yep, lock grips are awesome. I actually shared some lock grips with a sub. He got a new gun. I sent him some. And also hooked up a buddy today with some. And if y'all ever bump into me sometimes and say hi or something like that, sometimes I have some stuff that I give away. Sometimes. So if you ever bump into me in person, please say hi. A good TSA case for pistols. I actually really like Condition 1. They're actually made in Texas. That's what I recommend. I've got Pelicans and all that stuff too. However, the Condition 1s, I prefer them even over the Pelicans. They're cheaper or less expensive, not cheaper in quality. They've got the big off-road type tires that work better on that matted concrete where it's not smooth. I've wheeled them all through airports and had no issues, but I have the small Condition 1. You open it up and you can put a pistol in there. You can put your knife in there, extra mag. But also when you travel with ammo, don't keep your mag loaded because when it goes through the x-ray, they'll pop you. I've had that happen. So put it in the ammo box that whatever, it doesn't have to be the exact brand, but just put it in an ammo box. And then load the mag after you go through TSA. After you get out, just load your mag up and good to go. But I like Condition 1. They're, like I said, they're made here in Texas, in Sherman, Texas. Actually been there many times or a few times. Really cool people, make a great product, and you can get them on Amazon too. So you can actually ship them and get them to yourself quick. Let's see. Also, I'll just go ahead and let y'all know. I haven't announced it or anything, but you'll know that I use the Ranger bands and stuff like that because the grip safeties just don't work with my big ass hands. So both of my staccatos are pinned now, so I don't even need to use the Ranger bands anymore, cutting up the inner tube. So I officially said, screw it, pinned them, and it's done. So there you go. I'm not saying to do this. This is what I choose to do. But I hate grip safeties. So, and on some guns, depending on how they're cut and the beaver tail, some actually work for me, but some don't. So those are officially pinned down and will never come up again. I don't need them. I still have the flip safety, so I'm good to go. Yeah, how can we say this? All the stuff that's going on, especially with this last one, dressing up as a woman and all this other weird shit. You know, there's some messed up people in this world. Um, how can I say this? It almost it almost seems that they're making a call and say, "Hey, let the freaks out." You know, it's just it seems like it's just happening more and more and more and more and more. But yet they overlook Chicago, where it happens every single day. I don't get it, but it's just me. Let's see here. That's why I'm still holding my breath for the DWX. Yeah, whenever the DWX comes out, I'm sure I'll grab one, especially the full size. However, man, way back when, I just got tired of waiting. So, you know, if it comes out, I'll get one fine, but I'm not definitely not holding my breath either. So, Big J, have you seen the custom decanters from Bourbon and Bull? I have not. I saw a picture I think that you had posted, but I didn't watch the video. Sorry, I've just been kind of crazy with work and stuff. But I've got, I don't know, I've got a bunch of decanters too, but I have not checked out those. So I'm sure they're really nice. I still have a bunch of my grandmother's actual true crystal, like lead crystal decanters. She had a big decanter collection. Not that she was an alcoholic. I'm not trying to say that, but she just really liked a bunch of decanters. So I've got those, and then I have some modern ones. Um, but yeah, I like decanters too. But most of mine are for show. I don't really drink a lot out of the decanters. I do like I have specialized glasses for a bunch of my decanters, but I call them my pretties, and I don't really mess them up that much. That's kind of what I was wondering too, Lynn. That's what I was wondering because and I don't know if you've watched Legally Armed videos, before they pulled down this guy's Twitter, everything on there he had liked was left leaning, but yet they're trying to play it off as he was a hardcore Republican and all this other crap. If you look at everything, and they copied all of the stuff before it was actually deleted, and you'll get a different point of view after you watch that video and see everything that he posted. Let's see here. Whoops, where did it go? Here it is. My new P320 X10 is a shooter, 300 rounds through it, no problems. Got a Holosun 507C coming for it. That's awesome, man. Yeah, and I know that LW has his, and he's been shooting it a whole bunch. And I've had a lot of people ask me why I haven't bought one, but you know, all we have are big pigs and big guys, so I haven't really needed one. We don't have bears. Let's see here. So we got that out of the way. Oh, another thing I did. Uh, I did a little racing this weekend. Not in my truck, in my wife's car. Did a little racing, and I kind of broke something. Um, I was loading up for launches. If anybody's in, racing or anything, I was basically loading up the transmission to launch it. And, of course, you're taking off the launch mode, you're taking off the ABS, you're turning all that stuff off. But I was doing some really hard launches. And uh, I broke the passenger side hydraulic motor mount. So anyway, it's going to get replaced. Matter of fact, I'm replacing both motor mounts because you do them in pairs, and I'm also changing the transmission mount. So all three mounts, car only has three mounts. All three mounts I'm going to replace. So, but they're on they're on back order, so I'm having them pick them up for me, getting them from the factory, or ordering them from factory ones. But they're basically motor mounts, and inside of them they're liquid filled with like a grease slash oil. And when I launched, the tires came down, pulled the front end a little bit off, and it slammed down on the ground. And when it did, it blew the motor mount out. So oil just poured out of it. First, I thought it came down and smashed the oil pan, but it didn't. It busted the motor mount. So I'm going to be changing those out. Not looking forward to it. Hey, Big J, are you still doing anything related to airsoft? Curious because I'm interested in it as a training tool. Honestly, I mean, I've got those airsoft pistols. I've got like a Staccato 2011. It kind of looks like the John Wick. I think it's the John Wick knockoff called the Baba Ya or whatever. I've shot in the backyard quite a bit. It runs off the air. You charge it with the air and shoot it. And it's fun. It's fun to shoot in the backyard. However, I'll say this. I actually prefer a 22 over an airsoft, and I know not everybody could go to the range when they want to if you don't have access to it quickly, or you don't want to travel around with your guns to go to a range. It's fun for the backyard, but it's not an everyday thing for me. Matter of fact, I kind of got bored of it. Because there's just no recoil. I'm not saying a 22 has recoil, but the 22 has a little more recoil than an airsoft, and you're actually shooting like real bullets that could take down somebody. And if you have a bad round, you could practice your tap rack bangs, things like that. I just think that it's fun. I mean, 22s are just a blast. I mean, you can shoot them suppressed, unsuppressed. I see, investing in a good 22 over an airsoft gun personally. If you don't have access to a range, airsoft is fine and fun, but it gets a little boring to me. Not knocking it, it just gets a little boring. My wife didn't say anything. No, she knows how I am. I hop up cars, and she loves the horsepower and loves the loud exhaust. And if I break it, I fix it. So she knows that. Her car is pushing. It's got custom exhaust. I mean, I've done a bunch of stuff to it. Programmers, you named it, different heads, headers, custom Y pipe exhaust, Flowmaster 40s. I mean, it's loud as shit. If y'all don't know, it's a charger, but it'll smoke the shit out of an SRT charger. It'll almost, I've kept up with some demons. It's pretty damn fast. But, if I break it, I fix it. So, or if anything breaks, it gets fixed. So that's how it is. But yeah, she loves fast cars. She remembers when I had all my classic race cars and my quarter-mile cars. Hell, we've been married almost 30 years and dated for 5. So she was even with me during my hooligan times. She spent a lot of time at the racetrack, put it that way. Hey, what's up, dude? How are you, man? Racing and didn't invite me. No, it wasn't at the track. Okay, it wasn't at the track. So I can't say it was somewhere in Mexico. I was somewhere in Mexico. Can't get myself in trouble. And that's why I don't film any of it. Because I'd probably post it and then cops would show up at my door. Yeah. That's why I decided to get me a land yacht. Can't break anything if it can't go fast. And my truck is actually hopped up for a truck. It's pretty damn fast, but it's also 4-wheel drive. So you got transfer case, front differential, which adds a lot of weight. So, yep, just doesn't give you the same effect as real firearms, but it's still fun. Yeah, and I'd agree. I mean, I'm not knocking anything on the airsoft. It is fun. Yeah, Mr. Media's got a fast car too. Oh, I know it was in Mexico. Yep, it is. What the heck? What is this thing doing? Okay, are y'all with me? That was weird. It just shut off for a second, came back on. Let's see here. Hemi, LS, or Coyote? I think I know the answer. What makes the Hemi superior in your opinion? Yes, it is a Hemi. Hemispherical heads. I'm all about the Hemi. Yep, 0 to 60 pulls. I was doing 0 60s. I did a couple 0 hundreds. Um, I did some that were just, yeah, and she's got new tire or fairly new tires too, but probably not after I got finished. I'm the guy that I'll tell you a trick I used to do on a lot of my street cars. Street cars. Okay, everybody's familiar with the washer bottle. Okay, you got your washer bottle, you push the button, for your wipers, and it sprays on your windshield. Okay, I was the guy that wired up a separate washer bottle, and I would pop the cap on it, and I would fill it with bleach. And it had a motor on it. It had a push button or a flip switch. I would run hoses all the way to the back, and I had them angled right at the rear tires. So if I knew I was going to race or whatever, I could push it. It would pump bleach onto the tires to get the tires sticky, and I was ready to race. Not many people drive around with a car that would do that, but my street cars, which were really quarter-mile cars, that's the way I had some of them set up. Now, if you go to the track, they mix, oh gosh, it's some people call it a concoction, but it's like bleach, tires, what do they call it? Tire stick. But anyway, they mix it all up and they pour it on your tires when you do burnouts at the quarter-mile track. So this, I just used bleach because it was cheap and it wouldn't damage the bottle, the washer bottles, because you can buy generic washer bottles. I'd get them at I would get them at like pick and pull parts and stuff like that. I'd get the washer bottle, and some of them had the pump built into it. I could get those things for like $5, and I would take a jug of water with me, pop the cap on them, pour it in there to make sure that none of the seams were cracked. And if they were cracked, you can heat them up and fix them like that. But pretty easy. Pistol Pete, my Prius will really get up and go sometimes. Electric cars are no joke. However, when it comes to pulling stuff, then you'll notice a big difference. All right, okay, Big John, help me settle a dilemma. I have a 1986 Z28. Gene wants me to keep the original ugly green with black interior. I want to pop black cherry with a big black racing stripe. Here's the deal. If you're going to do it and do it right, you need to strip it completely all the way down, do a rotisserie job where you're stripping the door panels. You're stripping because paint is on the inside of the doors. You have to pull the doors off. You have to strip it completely down if you're doing a true color change, because there's nothing worse if you want it to look really nice on the outside and you're doing dark cherry and you open the door and you got green all inside of it and on your door jambs. So if you're going to do it right. But I painted cars and changed colors of them completely, but they were rotisseries. They were completely, stripped down all the way to the bare bones. The frame was dipped, pulled the frame off the body. I mean, I've done it all different ways. But if you just pull into a Mako job and get you a $600 paint job, I wouldn't recommend that. Now, they'll work and it'll look okay from a distance, but when you get up close, you'll really be able to tell the difference. Mr. Meaty, I had a 10.9 second sleeper wagon. Damn, that's pretty fast. I had some pretty damn fast cars. Quarter-mile cars back in the day. Had the 70 Cuda, but it was tubbed. It was, it was a nitro. It was a nitro car. Started off as a I was running, what was it, 110? No, 120 gas, BP racing in it. I think it was 120. And then I changed it over to but it was naturally aspirated too. I mean, you get into the blowers, the superchargers, you can pull a lot of shit out of cars. And my wife's car is just naturally aspirated. I mean, it doesn't have a supercharger on it, but it's got a lot of other stuff on it. If I threw a supercharger on it, it'd be way too fast for her to drive it. I don't want to get her in trouble. She's had enough problems with tickets. Well, I just lost the battle. I'm just being honest. You know me. I just tell you my honest opinion. If you're going to do it right. If you're not going to do it right, keep it. The thing about it is also, if you're going to keep it as an original Z28, that's the original color. It will hold the value. Now you can always trick it out other ways, and just keep the paint. I mean, hell, I've raced primered cars that that run their ass off. So paint's not paint doesn't make the car. It's what's under the hood. Pro charging, yeah. Pro charging. These were also a lot of these were carbureted vehicles. If I was going to do it all over again, they would definitely be not carbureted. They would be fuel injected. Fuel injected is the only way to go. Man, I got tired of tuning carbs and changing jets and all that bullshit. I had a 1986 Z28 and it got stolen. That damn thing's probably in Mexico. They never found it. Mine came with a 350 and it had the cowl hood, the forced air induction. That's what it said on the hood. But mine had, I'd pulled the 350 out and put a 455 in it. It was a fast ass car. And that was back in the days when you'd put ladder bars and freaking air shocks and all that bullshit on it with the Krager SS's. Shit was fast. But yeah, I ran the dog shit out of that car. I won a bunch of races with it. I beat a Grand National GNX. I beat a Monte Carlo that had a small block 400 in it. These were guys from my high school. I went to high school with the guy that got the very first Grand National GNX. If y'all know what the Grand National GNX is, his dad worked for Buick, and he got the very first one. His dad was a bigwig and ordered it, and got it and gave it to him. And he thought that thing was the shit, and I smoked his ass. I mean, it was very fast. Don't get me wrong; it was not a joke, but he wasn't prepared for a true big block with that V6. I graduated in '87. It was just amazing. And I was thinking about this the other day. Matter of fact, I was talking to my wife about this. Back in the day, people had 454. I remember a buddy of mine had a Chevy truck that was the 454 SS special edition. That thing was a 454 and it was pushing from the factory 235 horsepower. I just laugh at that. I'm like, because nowadays 235 horsepower, hell, there's V6s that pull more horsepower than that shit. But that was big horsepower, during that 80s bullshit craze, not the 60s. 60s, they were pulling some serious horsepower. But, everybody thought the 454 with 235 horsepower was badass. That was crazy, man. Yeah, the GNX is not, or the T types. That was basically the same as the GNX, just a lesser vehicle. But I had buddies who had the Cyclones, the T types, and the GNXs, and those cars were no joke. They were actually very fast. But when you get a big block that can run, it's tuned correctly, it's a whole different ball game. Matter of fact, I raced a Ford Pinto in Denton, Texas. If y'all know where Denton, Texas is, I raced a Ford Pinto with a 302 Boss with jacked up rear end, side pipes running out of it. And I raced them in what was I in? I was in my 69 Cutlass 442. And we raced an eighth of a mile. And that 302 Pinto kicked my ass. It kicked my ass because my car was not an eighth mile car. It was set up for a quarter mile car. And he's like, I'll only race you in the eighth. So I was like, okay. So we pulled it off a University and we took it on the side road right there on 35. We had a track where we had it marked off. So everybody got down at the end and that thing kicked the dog shit out of me in the eighth of a mile. but I would have smoked his ass in the quarter of the mile. But as I was catching up, he broke the eighth, so he beat me. You know, I had buddies who had Vegas, Vega regular cars, Vega station wagons. Some of them had 350s in them. I mean, it was just fun because you could take a piece of shit car and you could just make it fast if you knew what you were doing. And the Chevy Chevettes, I remember some of those with 454s in them. The good 454s, not the, you know, bullshit 235 horsepower ones. I had some crazy cars. I had a Mitsubishi. What was it? And I won't tell you who my dad worked for, but I had a Shelby Z Turbo. I had put dual intercoolers in it. I had taken the wastegate out of it. I had a bigger turbo in it. And that Shelby Z was fast as shit. I had a Mitsubishi, God, what was the name of that car? TSI, Mitsubishi TSI, bright red. That thing was a freaking pocket rocket. It had nitrous on it. It was fast as shit. Matter of fact, it got ran over by an 18-wheeler on 35 going north, right at LBJ and 35. An 18-wheeler cut across the lane and drove right over the hood of that car and threw me off into a bar ditch. When I was about, what was I, 17? I think I was about 17 years old. But that car was a freaking beast. One of the fastest cars that I ever raced was an Eagle Talon. If y'all are familiar with the Eagle Talons, it was all-wheel drive. Those things were nasty fast if they were prepped correctly, if they were built correctly. From the factory, they were still fast, but they weren't as fast as if they were built. But the Eagle Talons were no joke. I'm really saying my age, but yeah, the Eagle Talon, man. I had one blow my freaking doors off. But like I said, it wasn't stock at all. But it toasted the shit out of my TSI. And I don't even like imports. I'm actually a domestic person, but I got it because I only had to pay $200 a month for it. Brand new car. And I got free insurance through the factory, so to say. So I had some nice cars when I was a kid. I still have nice cars, but you know, I had some hot, fast cars back then. What's your fastest street car quarter mile? The Hemi, or excuse me, the Cuda. After when it was put on race fuel, it was shit. What was the time on it? 11-1, 11-1 maybe. I think it was 11-1. I mean, shit, that's been 18 years ago. Uh, what got me out of it, I don't know if I ever told the story, but some people have asked. Well, I know I've got some personal friends who knew, and they've seen pictures of all the shit. When I would go to the track, I would take two cars. It was a Featherlight trailer. I pulled it with my mega cab diesel. I'd take two cars, full toolboxes inside, living quarters up at the front. We'd spend the whole weekend at the racetrack. Um, I had a Cuda, I had a Chevelle, a Camaro. What else did I have? One time I think I had 4 or 5 cars. Um, oh, I had a Chevy too, also a little square body Chevy too. Um, I had some fast ass cars. I love the AMX. Man, I used to have a 69 AMX with a 390. Holy shit. I love the AMX, and they were super rare. That's one of my favorite cars is the AMX. And you had a good one. Um, Hello, Kyle. How are you, man? I think it was 11-1, I think. What is my dream car? Wow. Uh, Here's the thing about me. A lot of these, I mean, I love old classic race cars, but the thing is, in a lot of these cars, I had to retro the seats because I'm 6'3". A lot of these cars were made for midgets back in the day. Um, so I had to unbolt the seats and I had to actually move them back. So if they had a back seat, they didn't when I bolted the seats in. But I would have to add bracing, I have to bolt the seats in, and I have to move them back so I could fit in the seats, especially with racing seats with 5-point harnesses. Um, Probably a car that I'd really like to have is a square body GTO. I think it was a 67 or 65 GTO. I'd really like to have one of those. I think it was like in the Fast and Furious, square body, not the round body, because that was kind of like my 442. I really like the GTO goats um, or judges, but the judges came later. Um, the new hyper cars and stuff like that. I mean, they're cool. I think they're awesome, like Bugattis and stuff. They're badass. They're super fast. But man, I'm just an old muscle car guy. I love the old Mopars. We had a 70 Charger 442, Plum Crazy Purple. Excuse me, Plum Crazy Charger 440 six pack. But it was all original. This was all matching numbers car. I did part of the ground up restoration on it. It was my dad's car. He sold it about 4 years ago, but this was not your average car. There were only 6 in the United States that met this rating. So it was literally like when they checked this car, they checked ride height from original factory, door gaps. They measured the door gaps. This car was one of 6 that met this rating in all of the United States. So all numbers matching, and you just don't find those too often. But I couldn't fit in it because the seat, and my dad's not going to let me rip the seat out and move it like 6 inches back. Um, so I didn't drive it all that much. I mean, it was very uncomfortable to drive. But, I love muscle cars. I love Mopars, big Mopar fan. Like probably, I guess if I could have my ultimate car, it would probably be the Daytona. Uh, Probably the Roadrunner, the true Daytona Richard Petty car that he ran. That set one of the fastest times on a stock race car. It was 200, I think it was 212 miles an hour with a 440. I'd love to have one, but Roadrunners like that, and you're talking, you know, more than $500,000. I've seen them go for $1 million. So, but they're super rare. But Super Bird is basically what it's called. If you want to look it up, it's called a Super Bird. Those things are awesome. It's got the crazy nose on it. It's got the big wing on the back. But that's what set the track record back in the day. I mean, I've driven a lot of GTOs, but not one like I would literally want. Hey, Texas Jam, how are you, man? Hello, Big J. What's your opinion on the Enos Grenader? I'm not familiar with that. Enos Grenader? Let me pull it up. I've probably seen it, but I'm just not familiar with the naming on it. So let me look here real quick. One second, please. Stand by. Oh, I have seen these. Matter of fact, a good friend of mine wants one of these. And y'all know who he is, but I'm not going to say his name. I have seen these. I mean, if you can get it to run reliably, shit, that's cool. He wants the more modernized one they have, not from this company. Um, but no, that's cool. Yeah, I mean, if you can get one, the only thing about it is you have to have somebody that knows how to work on them. It's basically, yeah, it's kind of the Land Rover. No, Lynn, I have not driven on the Autobahn. I have not. That would be awesome, though. That would be awesome. But no, I have not. Yeah, Jay Leno has a shitload of cars. Yeah, I've heard that, Marshall. I've heard that. I remember seeing new Superbirds on dealer lots back in the 1970s. They couldn't give them away. That's like my dad's Charger. You know, we had the original window sticker, the original data plate. I mean, everything. The window sticker. I mean, I think that car was like $4,300 new. I mean, it was just insane. Now, of course, it went for way over six figures, but I mean, it's just crazy what they used to sell for and what they go for now. But yeah, I just love old school cars, and I even like it when they take the old school car and then modernize them with fuel injection, with more horsepower, different suspension, Brembo brakes. Um, that's what I love about it because you have that old school outside look, but the inside and all the transmission, rear end, all of that stuff, tub, it's just all modernized. Now, of course, a lot of them are lead sleds because the bodies are in the frames are so freaking heavy because they're real metal, not aluminum or that light aluminum or light steel is what they call it. I mean, those were the cars and the trucks you could stand on. And what's crazy is, the one of the other vehicles I would really love to have is an old International Scout. I would love to restore one or an old K5 Blazer. We used to have a Blazer. It was like 1979 where you could take the hard top off. Um, and of course, my dad kept it for a while and sold it, but it was brand new. And I would love to have that thing back because it would be lifted. It would have a shitload of horsepower. I mean, it would not be stock, but I love those. International Scouts are probably one of my favorite ones made. And I even like the old Bronco, but the Scouts are just more appealing to me. And my grandfather had an International truck. It was kind of like the Scout, but it was a truck. And I wish he would have never sold that. Thing was so awesome. Y'all have a great night. I appreciate it. And also, don't forget to go over to Chris's video. His starts at 8 o'clock, so I don't want to cut into his. Oh keep your. But can't bring myself to get rid of a good Buick 455. No, I mean keep that thing. No, I like the old cars. And I had motorcycles as a kid. I had a lot of. I had like a CR 250R. I had a CR 500R where I'd put a bigger sprocket on it, all that shit. And it was fast, tricked out with pipes and stuff. And then I had a Harley Fat Boy. I had a what was it? God, it was a 1100 FM or FMJ Yamaha. I just didn't ride it that much. And then I bought the Harley really for an investment and sold it and made a shitload of money because I bought it right. The guy needed money quick, and so I bought it. But I think only put like maybe 500, 600 miles on it. And then my wife was like, "You got to sell that bike. You're going to get killed." Because people just drive crazy. So that's what I worry about with people on motorcycles. Not them, the people around them. I had a 68 Volkswagen Bug in 1983 while I was in Germany, drove it in the Autobahn. That was a trip. I bet it was, man. I bet that sucker was. I bet you had cars flying past you. Yeah, I know you could run it. If it tops out at 160, you could run it on the Autobahn. I've just never, I've never been on the Autobahn, so I mean, I would assume you could. That's pretty fast. I don't even know the fastest I've been in a car because even on a lot of a lot of people have asked me that question, like, how fast have you been in a race? And a lot of the times, you're focusing on other things. You're not looking at a speedometer unless you're set, more of the modern cars, but like quarter mile cars, hell, some of them don't even have speedometers that work. I didn't have one. Mine was not hooked up, so I just got my printout at the end, and there you go. But see if there's anything else. But yeah, it was a lot of fun today at the range with Rick Cadre. I've got a video that'll be out. He shot some of my stuff that he had never shot before. So I've got a video of him doing that and what his opinion is on it. So y'all will be interested in seeing what that gun is, because it's one particular gun that I wanted him to shoot. And he shot it, and it's all on video. It's his very first shots, never shot one before. And so I filmed it, and he gave me his opinion, and you'll see if he likes it or doesn't like it. And basically at the end of it, I said, should we trash it or keep it? And you'll see what he says. So I thought that was pretty funny. I shot a lot of ammo today. So you'll get to see it. I mean, hell, one video has like 60 rounds in one video. So you'll get to see that. And it's got fast shooting. And then at the end, the very end of the video, I've got slow-mo in there that I think you'll like to see. It's pretty fun. Yeah, I've been fast at night. So might have been a little faster, but that's pretty damn fast. You know, in Mexico, we were all in Mexico. Remember, you can only drive that fast in Mexico. Yeah, a lot of motorcycles. If you were at 135 on a motorcycle, a lot of those have a shitload more speed. Big J, what do you think is the best 45 AC pistol? Depends, Keith, if you're wanting capacity or if you're wanting, just pure enjoyment. Ed Brown makes awesome 45s. The old STI, like I have, is an awesome 45. If you're wanting capacity, the FNX 45 is a great pistol because you've got a lot of capacity. I mean, it's 15+1, I believe. I mean, it just kind of depends on what you're going for. If you're wanting to go for concealment, I know that I think you have the Shield 45. That's a great small pistol. It's just not optic ready. I wish it was. Gosh, well, Wilson Combats make nice 45s. I mean, there's tons of nice 45s out there. Dan Wesson makes really nice 45s. It just depends on what you want, what you're looking for. Yeah, 1911s. I mean, there's some super nice ones out there, but that's what you're dealing with on a 1911. It's got a lot of weight. Most of them are steel. Depends on if you're going for, capacity or carry, or you want something really light. There's just a lot of variables there. So to say that one is the best in the world, it's really hard to say that. I will never tell anybody this is the ultimate pistol. It could be the ultimate pistol for you. So, and Abigail is saying the HK45. The HK45 USP is a great pistol. However, that's 10+1. The FNX beats it. So you can get more capacity with that particular gun, but it's whatever you like. Yeah, Dan Wessons are no joke. They're great pistols. For the price, I mean, they're really hard to beat on 1911. If I was just going for a strictly 1911 45, I'd probably go Dan Wesson. You just can't beat it for the price. I've said that numerous times. They make great pistols. So it just really depends on what you like, Keith. Everybody's got different hand size. There's just a lot of variables there. It's like me with those stupid grip safeties. Some I can grab perfectly. I'd say 75 or 80% of them I can't grab worth of shit just due to my hand size. So that's just something that you really have to go and put hands on it. I would always recommend going to the range and shooting a bunch of them if you can run them and try them. That way you know what works for you. Yes, Alchemy makes really good pistols too. They do. Cabots are nice pistols too. I just think they're very, very pricey for what they are, and they won't, some of them will not outshoot like a Dan Wesson. I mean, they're nicer quality, and it's that hand finish and all that machining, if that's what you're into, like more of a collector piece. Uh, Cabots are super nice, but I don't think they're the best gun out there. So, but it is 7:59. We will shut this bad boy down. I appreciate all of y'all's time. If you have any questions after, please leave it. Oh, I did want to say this real quick. What got me out of racing, because I've had this asked a bunch of times, I upped my insurance policy. So, and if you take it over $1 million for your insurance policy, you can't do extreme sports. And that's what they consider racing, was extreme sports. So basically, when I upped it, they were like, hey, with your age, blah, 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 and all of that in the extreme sport, we can't give you that amount of insurance. So I made a choice and sold the cars, sold the trailer, sold the truck. Matter of fact, the guy who came and bought 2 of the cars, he didn't have a trailer and he didn't have a truck, but he had money. So he bought one of my trucks, my pulling trucks. He bought the trailer and he bought two of the race cars. He bought all of it. And in the race trailer, I had Snap-on toolboxes at the front of it bolted in. He did not take my tools, but I sold him the toolboxes and the living quarter that was in it. What was in there, not the the comforter, not all that shit. But so he bought that. It was, I loaded it back on there, strapped him down, and he drove off in it. So paid me my money and gave him the titles, and he drove away. So that was pretty much the end of that. Plus, it's an expensive ass hobby. Way, way, way more expensive than guns. So, but I appreciate y'all so much. You have any questions or comments after the chat, leave them. I'll be glad to answer them for you. Y'all have a great night. Tune over to Chris, his chat. He'll kick it off now. And I appreciate y'all as always. Have a great night, everyone. And remember, an unarmed nation is a very weak nation. So we all got to carry on.